Racism is so American that if you challenge racism, you look like you're challenging America. The rage, bruh. A mean, mad white man. There's enough wine in here to start a vineyard. If you free a person after a whole long time of oppression and say now you are free to survive, if you have no skills, if you have no quantifiable means of existence, what you have done is liberated them into oppression. If you start a man in a race 100 years behind, it is awfully difficult to catch up.
So he turns to me and said, astrophysics. Then he says the following: the black community cannot afford the luxury of someone with your intellect to spend it on that subject. And I was devastated by that comment. It's 1989. I'm in graduate school in New York City, Columbia University, Upper West Side. A phone call comes into the department from Fox News. This is before Fox was a national network. It was just local Fox News. The weather guy had read over the newswire that there was an explosion on the sun. Okay? A blob of plasma, astrophysical plasma, which is just a gas with a lot of ionized particles in it. So it actually responds to magnetic fields. It's kind of a cool state of, sometimes called the fourth state of matter. And the guy said, you know, there's this explosion on the sun. What can you tell us about it? I said, oh, it's just a blob of plasma, highly charged particles moving fast.
About 100 times the size of the Earth.
Yeah, it's large. It's a big plasma pie headed towards Earth. As it gets closer, these charged particles will notice the magnetic field of the Earth. They will split positive and negative. They will be attracted to the poles. They will spiral down, collide with the molecules in Earth's atmosphere, excite them and render them aglow, creating the northern lights, or the aurora borealis. So tomorrow and over the weekend, why don't you go north and have a good look at it? He said, you mean Earth is okay? I said, Earth is fine. They said, can you say that on the air? And I said, okay. And they said, we'll send up a limo. Anyway, so we do the interview, and that's fine. We record the tape at 3 in the afternoon. So I go home, call everybody. Mom, dad, sis, brother, grandma, grandpa. So I'm going to be on TV. Tune in. This is my first time on TV. So I'm home eating dinner. Okay? And the interview comes on. There it is. So there it is. And at the end, I had an epiphany. A revelation. You ready? Yeah. This is 1989. I had never before in my life, and I believe to this day that that was the first such occasion ever, but I had never before in my life seen an interview with a black person on television for expertise that had nothing to do with being black. Holding aside, of course, interviews with performers and musicians. Or athletes, right? I'm talking about experts.
An intellectual.
Intellectual.
Subject.
I had never seen a black person. The guy didn't ask me, well, how do black people feel about this plasma coming from the sun? What does your community feel about this? Will it harm your skin the way it will harm ours? That's not the conversation that unfolded. I was telling him whether Earth would survive. And at that point I realized that one of the last stereotypes that prevailed among people who carry stereotypes is that black people are somehow dumb. There used to be the stereotype that blacks were like physically unable, right? You know, shiftless and lazy. And then Jesse Owens in the 1936 Olympics sets 4 world records within 45 minutes in front of Hitler, right? The Aryan race. So that kind of fixed that one, right? We got that one done. You know, no one is saying blacks don't have physical ability. That one's done, okay? So when you combine this, I wondered, maybe, if there's more of this, That's a way to undermine the sort of the stereotype that prevailed about who's smart and who's dumb. And think about it. And if you're prone to saying, oh, these black people, they don't work and they're too dumb, you're going to have to remember that I just told you that Earth is safe from the plasma that came from the sun. And so you're going to have to reconcile this. You're going to have to be wondering, well, maybe this guy could have been one of those. But for lack of opportunity, but for lack of institutions with foresight, okay?
And Neil, at this point, you had the answer to your Rhodes Scholar.
Thank you! I said to myself, I just have to be visible, or others like me, in that situation. That would have a greater force on society than anything else I could imagine. Anything else. And so to this day, I'm getting email from white people saying they wish they were as smart as I was. That was an unthinkable thing 30 years ago. That just would not have ever happened. White people wishing they were smart like black people. And so, then I said to myself, it's not that the black community can't afford to have me do astrophysics. It can't afford me to not do astrophysics.